And I'm back. All right, show y'all my screen. Remember, I write code. All right, and if you write code or you are curious about writing code, definitely check out my Calendly. It is calendly.com/ I write code. All right, so get at me. Let me know what you're thinking. And the image behind that is Curb Appeal. That's a character I created a while back. Got some fun stuff coming out with the character. My niece did this graphic. She drew this based off of a picture that I gave her on the original Curb Appeal character. So I like these a lot. One of my favorites is these three down here. The rocket pack. My guy's flying. The check out the goggles and the helmet. All safety precautions followed. Skateboard. Not wearing a helmet, but he's just coasting right now, running. And I love all of them. I like them all, but these three are my favorites. I like the bike, the laughing, the angry, and the jumping. So look for that. Next, observable. This is my observable account, Dapper Artur, and this is the project I found that used GraphQL with observable. So looks like you just grab the link to the server. This is the guy's Radame's link. Give it a name. GraphQL server is what he named it. The next cell, GraphQL. This is where I don't know. This GraphQL server, and it's a function. I'm assuming you're just giving it a name, right? Like, will it still work? Where's GraphQL defined though? See, that broke. So where is GraphQL defined? That I don't know. I guess it's. Hmm, is it a reserved word within here? That's what has me curious. But let's just go through it and then we'll try it with mine and see what we figure out. Countries is an array that's defined here, and this is the query, the GraphQL query, passive variables. I'm assuming those will be these, and request options. It's a function, lens query, graph, and this is your query, lend, assuming that's from this API. This is just basically just copy and pasted the query into here. Country.json.stringify. Okay, these are the filters. This is this, right? Which was used as a filter, and then you limit it to 20. Total count should be 20, and then the values, you want within loans, you want the values back, activity, geocode, and this is what happens when you run it. Total counts 20. Lens data, lens query. That's this. All right. So now let's start from the beginning. I just created an account today. Haven't done anything with it. This is the Welcome to Observable Dapper Artur uh, getting started. We created this introduction notebook to guide you through your first steps, exploring and visualizing data with Observable. It's all yours to edit, tinker with, and return as needed. Oh, this is all stuff right here. Huh. All stuff right here that they pulled from my GitHub account, including the image. It's private right now. Today's date. There's a fork of an existing. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm assuming it's just an exact copy. Right, a fork report. Let's see. I guess they drew this with data. We believe that everyone should have access to the skills, tools, and community needed to better understand and communicate about the world around them. We're approaching this challenge by creating ways to think with data, collaborate, build on each other's work, and share insights with your community. This is the phone I use for chat. So if you got a question or if you want to get down, send a, send a comment or help me out. Mm. All right. That's what we build Observable, a place where you can sketch with live data, prototype visualizations, share and reuse code, and publish your work for the world to see. That's the feature that I'm most interested in. Publishing this data so it can be viewed. So I have a React front end, an ugly thing that I like. That's not it. This is it. And if you want to chat, send me a message. You see that down there at the bottom right. Um, so this is it. It doesn't incorporate what we're going to be looking at today, which is the transaction data, but it does do the random word part. Yeah, it's like I thought for exact copy of what I'm looking at. It all happens right in your web browser in a live reactive environment that gives you immediate feedback to iterate and accelerate understanding. Observable offers features you expect when writing code. Version control like Git, collaborative editing like Google Docs, suggestions like GitHub pull requests, and commenting all built in. That is dope. We're so glad you're here. This is your observable notebook. It will give you a crash course in how you can create and interact with data visualizations and point you to some helpful resources. This is a safe place to play. You own this notebook and you can edit it as you wish, make it yours. This notebook will give you an experience of what Observable can do. If you're already familiar with Observable, feel free to skip ahead and dive deep. All right, so let's I'm gonna go through this first because I've never used it and I want to play with some things. And before we really get down to it, I need to know what I'm doing. Right back. Station break. Damn. All right, I'm back. Had to go get my late lunch started. Start with notebooks and sales. The page you're viewing. Notebooks and sales. The page you're viewing right now is a notebook, an interactive editable document defined by chunks of code called cells. Each cell has a displayed value defined by its JavaScript code. You can view or hide the source code of a cell by clicking the left-hand margin. Try it now. Let's see. Okay. I'm assuming MD stands for Markdown, and inside the ticks is the stuff that we want to show. Okay. Let's see. I'm removing those to see what it does. Oh, okay. That basically just changes, instead of just making notebook bold, it makes everything all the way down to, I guess, sales. Yeah. And undo works. Okay. To make a link, you do square brackets with inside stars, and then inside parentheses, you do your link. What's this? Click here to insert new cell, shift click to merge cells. Once you've opened a cell, you'll see its source code displayed in a gray area below, and the resulting value, in this case, nicely formatted text, displayed above. All source code on observable is editable. Try editing the text in the cell below. Edit me. Edit who? Yeah. To see their changes appear, run the cell by clicking the blue play button on the right, or by using the shortcut Shift Enter. Try it now to see the sales value update with your changes. You can edit sales in any notebook you see. Only notebooks that someone else wrote, your edits on notebooks that someone else wrote, your edits stay private to you. So you can always safely experiment with code you find on Observable. Sales, cell values, and names. Each cell in an observable document, in an observable notebook, is powered by JavaScript code. The cell's source code may contain a single JavaScript expression like a simple calculation. The cell's value is the result of running that code. Okay. So this is various. Longer, more complex pieces of code must be wrapped in curly braces and return the desired value. Undefined, because nothing was returned. If you give code a cell name, you can refer to it in either cells and other cells, which will recalculate the values whenever the named cell is updated. When you change the contents of a cell, click the play button on the right-hand side or shift return to recalculate. Observable, okay, so we named this cell and the value of that cell is used here. 2 times that. For instance, we want to do this, right? Observable also allows you to write paragraphs of text styled using the popular markdown syntax. You can create your own markdown cells with observables built in. Okay. You can create your own markdown cells with observable built in MD tag. This cell is an example. And you can escape so you can show the tags, the ticks. You can also use the built-in HTML tag to add custom HTML elements and web components into your notebooks. Hmm. It's pretty cool. To reference a value from another cell within a markdown or HTML cell, wrap the cell name in curly braces preceded by a dollar sign. Okay, kind of like string concatenation, interpolation, string interpolation. So cell name, that's just an example. Okay, so exponent. This is it. And you can make it bold. Okay, so you can still style the shit. That's not what I wanted. Let's see. Trying changing the value of the exponent cell and watch the markdown cell above update. Reactive. Okay. So exponent is defined up here. We go down and exponent is used here. Working with data, notebooks are great for exploring and visualizing data. So let's load up some data to work with. Here's a cell containing data from a weather forecast in New York City. Okay, array of 2 items, geometry, 2 objects. That's the coordinates. File attachment. Okay, so this is, you can attach a file. That's pretty dope. NYC forecast. Okay, so this is all pulled from this JSON file. The data loaded here is a snapshot of raw, unprocessed data from the U.S. National Weather Service API. You can explore the data by clicking into the carrots. In this case, we had a local file with the data snapshot and uploaded it to this notebook as a file attachment. But that's just one of the many options for getting data in Observable. Let's take a closer look by drilling down into the periods property. Fahrenheit. The battery died on my camera. I think the battery died on the camera. Yep. That's cool. All right, I'm going to put this battery on a charger so that we have access to it later. Mm. Hey. Try inspecting the data, and we want to see forecast periods by clicking there. I did that. Importing useful code. Let's make the forecast data look prettier, data easier to read by turning it into a nicely formatted table. Luckily, you don't have to start with a blank slate. The community has created examples we can build upon. So instead of writing the table code ourselves, let's save time and effort by importing the table utility function from another notebook. Okay. So you can import things from other notebooks. I wonder if they have to be exported or how that works. Now we can use the table function in our own notebook like we do in the forecastable cell below. Hmm. Look at that. This is my cue to go flip over my chicken. Be right back. So we import the table, and you can use the table function for what we're doing here. Table function takes an array. New York forecast periods. You want to see forecast periods dot slice 0 to 7 dot map. Pass it an array with the first 7 elements of the forecast table. All right. So each element is going to be called period, and this is what we're going to do with it. For each element of period data, display day. This is markdown period dot name. The day night's name. Temp period dot temperature. Icon. Okay, this is an image. And period forecast in the forecast text. We import all kinds of useful code from other notebooks. For example, here we're importing a helper function to create the table of contents at the top of this notebook. So the whole function just for attendance notebook can generate a table of contents with indentations automatically for the notebook. It's pretty dope. I'll check that out. A lot of mangoes. The animated graphic you see above the table of contents. That's this. In chart. Connect the dots. Oh, okay, this is the graphic. It works, I guess, when you first load it. Reactive updates. In the code of the forecast table cell above, we're using a value called forecast type to determine whether to display the short or detailed description of the forecast. That value is defined in the cell below. The order of cells in the notebook doesn't matter, so we can use a value even above the cell where we define it. That sounds very JavaScripty, like lifting. Is that hoisting? In the cell above, try changing the forecast type from detailed forecast to short forecast, and then running the cell with the play button. See what happens. Okay, so this should change. Ah, it did. Look at that. Change it back. You'll notice that the table above reacts instantly, displaying the shorter forecast description instead of a more detailed one it contained previously. This reactivity, aka reactive data flow, is what makes Observable a special platform for exploration. The notebook is a live environment. Whenever a cell's value changes, the rest of the notebook automatically updates to reflect the latest information, like a spreadsheet does. Reactivity gives you instant feedback as you explore data, tinker with code, and collaborate with others, visualizing data. Let's help our readers understand this forecast data by visualizing it on a chart. If we have the time, we could hand code a custom chart with our data, perhaps using a lightweight visualization library like VeggieLite. or Vegelite, or a more complex and powerful one like D3. Or we could, once again, look into Observable's amazing creator community, find a beautiful visualization of this type of weather data, and remix it to use our own data. Let's do that and save ourselves some time. As we import the weather chart from that notebook, we can use the with keyword to inject our own NYC forecast data as a replacement for the original forecast data. Import weather chart from Kerry Roden, and then import with and use our data. Okay. Then we can reference weather chart in a cell, in a new cell to display the chart, which now depicts our NYC data. That's pretty cool. Now that we have a beautiful animated hoverable visualization of our data, having written only a teeny bit of code thanks to the observable ecosystem. And if we wanted to customize the chart further, we could fork the original notebook and tweak the author's code as we see fit. Okay, I didn't see the animation before, but you see it move up. Watch. That's pretty cool. Adding interactivity, the visualization we just added already contains a little interactivity. Users can hover over a period to see details about the forecast, for example, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Where do you do that at? I don't see no hovering effect. Is it up here? Nah, ain't no hovering up here neither. Maybe I'm missing something. But that's just the iceberg. We can make our notebook and its visualizations as interactive as we'd like, since Observable is powered by the web. To create a cell that reacts to user input, we can use the keyword, the view of keyword, with an interactive element. For example, we could use an HTML select input to add a drop-down menu for users to select the period they're interested in. This afternoon, okay. Hmm. Do I have to hit play on that or what? For example, we could use select that drop down. So when you change the selection above, watch how your choice flows through to the text below. Oh, okay. I was looking in the wrong place. This cell references the period value from the drop-down menu above, so it updates each time that the value changes. You'll notice that the left margin flash whenever the cell updates with new data. I did not. Let's see if I do this time. Yeah, I did. Map, option, p.name. How was it used though? Option. This here references the period value from the drop down above. Read that. Now that we have a basic sense of how cells can react to user input, we could even let the reader decide which scale they'd like to see the temperature and convert the message above accordingly. Hmm. Our data visualization can react to user input too. Here's an interactive version of the chart we imported above, which take the user's unit reference into account. We once again borrowed some code from the original weather chart notebook to create the preferred unit widget and convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Inspect the source code and import the statement below and the cells above to see how we did it. And read up on views and imports to understand how it works. Keep in mind that the interactivity in notebooks isn't limited to just HTML inputs. Using ViewUp, you can create anything from a selectable scatter point to a drawable canvas to a clickable map and more. Check out the inputs notebook for a wide array of ready to import widgets. Publishing, sharing, and collaborating. As we've already seen, part of what makes Observable special is the ability to build off other people's code. We can only go further together than we can individually. To share your notebook with the community, you can publish your notebook to make it visible to the world and discoverable to other observable users on the Explore page. You can also embed your work on another website or even download your notebook and run it locally. You could, if you'd like to work on a notebook with someone else before publishing, you can enable a link sharing and send them the URL. Then after forking and tinkering with your notebook, they can click a button to send you their code suggestions. Or you can work together on a notebook in real time using observable teams. That's the paid feature. I saw that it's like $9 a month. And if you have data and you actually, I feel it's definitely worth it to be able to work on a team with someone live and do it. If that's your job or if you have a way to monetize that, I would definitely do that. Learn more. Congrats, you've now gotten a first taste of Observable. To learn more about how Observable works, check out our Learning Observable videos on YouTube. I've checked out a couple already. They're definitely dope, especially this person here who's done some videos. I've enjoyed hers. You may also want to bookmark the user manual as a comprehensive reference, and don't forget to browse the Explore page for inspiration. If you'd like to jump into building data visualizations in Observable, check out these guided tutorials which explain data viz libraries and observable concepts for folks from different backgrounds with different goals. Tutorials work through these short hands-on tutorials to practice using the techniques introduced above. Veggie Light, Learn D3. Oh, that's what I built my dashboard. The data that we'll be working with, I built that app so that I could play with D3. So I think I'm gonna start there. D3 is a powerful JavaScript library that helps you bring data to life using HTML, SVG, and CSS. If you already have some D3 under your belt, you'll find using D3 Observable is a little bit different. Whether you're new to D3 or Observable or both, get your feet wet here. Observable for Jupyter users, which I mentioned earlier. If you have a Python data science background or just feel more comfortable in Python than JavaScript, these tutorials will help ease you in. And if you have trouble running into issues, reach out to you good folks at Observable in the forums or support at observablehq.com. All right, so this is the user manual. We're not going to go through that together. Tutorials, lunch calculator. It's I think what I'm gonna do. My chicken's done, and my partner is on their way home. So I'm gonna try to get started on some GraphQL. All right, I'll be right back and we'll grab that chicken. Grab that chicken. Red, red. Mm. Gonna have my chicken with a little bit of barbecue sauce. Okay. Let's take this and okay. All right. So let's get started. All right. I need to define my server. And we're gonna get that from here. Okay. And then connect my next cell graph equals F. Oops. GraphQL server. Right? I just passed it the server. GraphQL is not defined. All right, where did we get the graph from? Graph, maybe it's below. Right, because you can define things at the bottom. There it is. Okay. So GraphQL equals require GraphQL.js. And look at that. I define it and then it is fixes the error. That's pretty dope. All right, so let's go back. I need to write my query. I don't need a variable. So let's do find transactions. All right, so you'll see these, and this is in a MongoDB I got. Everything is written in cents, so this is 1,325 cents, $13.25, right? So I don't got to worry about floats and versus ints and things like that. I'm gonna go ahead and fork that. All right, so now transaction query equals graph let's go ahead and move this back. Oh, did not want to do that. All right. And That's it, right? I don't need to do anything extra, right? Okay, gonna run that. And then now let's run the query. We got data equals transaction query. And we got find transactions. There's total 353. I got the first 20, and there they are. This is pretty dope. This is definitely, I'm definitely gonna like this, and I will be using this in the project. Now, I guess the next thing to do is check out, hmm, I'll remember. No, I don't want to open image on new tab. Let's go back. Okay. Home, GraphQL practice. What did it say about getting started? I'm just letting my chicken cool off. I'll be snacking soon. Just want to try to get as much work done as possible for my partner to show up. Huh. Not gonna do that. Lunch calculator. Let's see. What do we? So I think the maybe yeah. I think I'll go through the tutorials next. Stream that and eventually work my way up to D3. There are 9 pages of that. This is dope to be able to jump to something. Assuming I'll learn how to do that within the app, within the tutorial. The okay, so this is what the plan will be. The plan will be to build the little tables and pages that I want to work with and put into this, do it in observable, and then export it and put it into my React app. That's the plan. So appreciate you all for checking out the stream. Just so there's no confusion, I write code. This is your aspiring centenarian, aka Centenarian Fun. Definitely check out some of my other streams. Come learn with me. We have an event coming up 2 weeks, I believe, the 27th. Yeah, January 27th, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Arizona time. You can come and learn JavaScript with us. It's a learning community. Theme is Teach Your Peers. I will be giving a presentation on JavaScript and DOM. And that is it. Check me out online at Awful Brown, AWEFUL brown like a color spelled correctly. Don't forget the E, Aweful. Check the spelling, like Eminem said. And I will see y'all soon, maybe later today. Peace. Oh, yeah, don't forget, spread love is the hip hop way. Hip hop axiom 0000. And look for my new blog post coming out about that, giving you some rap lyrics that talk about love and hip hop, and how it has impacted me in my life. I'll share a story or two about